la 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 la. La 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 la. That was so out of tune, I'm so sorry. It's okay. La 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 la. I forgot to change the game to Ace Attorney. Oops. Oh fuck, I'm unmuted. That's so cool. Hello, Azure Sniper. Well, you know, I opened the game and it's not even like play music, please. Ah, there we go. A little bit of scuff. Saying hi from TwitchCon. Oh my gosh, have fun. It's TwitchCon this weekend. Nice. Alright. I have my scene set up. It's Ace Attorney time. I probably should wait for the Discord bot to do the ping. I'm feeling kind of impatient. Also, none of my mods are here. But that's okay. The chat is usually pretty small, so I will be able to moderate myself as well. Okay, where are we going? You'll behave? Alright, I have my eye on you. I have faith. Load game. We are on the Cosmic Turnabout. Trial day 1. Okay, so we're jumping right into the trial. There's no investigation this time. Looks promising. Less talking equals good. Oh yes. The courtroom bombing incident. A terrible attack launched by the will of a madman. It was Ted Tonate. That incident perfectly symbolized the state of the legal world in this dark age of the law. Mr. Wright brought it to a resolution of sorts. Objection. Ted Tonate was discovered to be the one responsible for the bombing. Seethe harder. If only it were that simple. Somehow I can't help but think. That there's a darker influence at work. One that's lurking in the shadows, waiting. That's why I want to review the trial that was taking place when the bombing occurred. After all, I've got more than a few personal stakes in it. The Cosmic Turnabout.
1 hour remaining until launch. Please begin your final equipment check.
Oh yes,
Check
they were
complete.
doing Among Us.
Everything's a-okay. We're ready here whenever you are.
We're ready here whenever you are.
Come in, Act 2. Come in. Do you copy?
Kimchi, hello. Hope you're doing well. We're on the ground. Oh, someone got stabbed in the chest. Yes. Among Us. It is December 16th, 9:12 a.m. District Court. Defendant lobby number 5. Sure. Why not? Hope you're doing well too. I'm chilling. It's the weekend. It's been a good weekend. I got McDonald's today, like the Genshin Impact meal, so that I can get the McDonald's rewards in Genshin Impact. Time for another trial to begin. But this one is different. Is this at all McDonald's? It's only in the States, I think. Sorry to bother you, but... Oh, it's Juniper. I gave her the wrong voice. That's my bad. Are you alright, Apollo? Ah, was I making a scary face just now? Oh, hi Juniper. Yes, I'm fine. I was just doing my Chords of Steel exercises. Now I'm all ready to go. My mic is also peaking. Now I'm all ready to go! Alright, hopefully Discord, or not Discord, OBS is okay with that. There's a Genshin meal, no wonder your apple pie last night was branded. Yeah, it's a McChicken, I think, and a drink and an apple pie. In total for like, well, I think it depends on where you are, but it was around $14 for me. And then, I'm assuming you get gems, Primo gems. My logic was, I'm going to eat lunch anyways, it might as well be McDonald's, might as well get some in-game content out of it.
Yes, knowing you, I'm sure you'll be just fine. Oh, I brought you a present from my garden.
Is this a lotus root?
That's right.
I didn't remember the word for this in English. I saw this and my brain went, oh. Lien, oh. And then he said lotus root, and I was like, oh yeah, it is that. Do you know when it ends? I'm not sure. Let me look it up. Genshin, McDonald's, collaboration. September 29th? So like around the end of the month. Marcus, hello.
That's right, my grandma says lotus root is good for your eyes. She even says that if you look through the holes, it can help you see into the future. It's for good luck. Maybe later you can cook it and...
Thanks for this. I'm gonna have some right now.
Oh my.
Did he eat it raw? Oh, kind of tough though.
You can't eat it raw, but... thank you for the enthusiastic try.
Oops, if she didn't think me weird before, she will now. I've gotta calm down. Apollo. Oh no, Apollo. Don't be such an anime protagonist, Apollo. She likes you, my guy. She likes you.
Apollo, I'm sorry I'm late. Hi, Fina. Junie, I didn't know you were coming today. Did you come to cheer Apollo on? Oh, I get it, you sly little thing, you. Fina, stop.
Quit kidding around, Athena. The trial's about to start any second. Is everything all set? You don't eat buns, so you'll probably see if they just do baked pie. I mean, they have the themed pie, but like, I think if you just get it, you don't get the rewards. But you can probably customize the McChicken question mark? McChicken. Yeah. To like whatever you want. Like replace the bun, like no bun, no whatever. but I'm not sure. Also, you need to order it through the app. I don't know, there's like a bunch of specifications. You can like find more information on the internet. It will be more helpful than anything I can give you. I streamed out of nowhere. I almost missed this. Yes, I added the people, the regulars in the live chat. I hope that was okay. Yes, we're back. Ace Attorney is back. I did say yesterday that I would stream it today, and I keep my word most of the time, so yes. Alright. Oh, Apollo, when will you ever figure it out? Figure out what? Ha. Wait, why'd you redeem not first, Azure? You were literally first. Wow, that was the longest sigh I've ever heard. This man looks like a marker. Congratulations on your 60 stream streak. Oh gosh. Nice ethanol stream. Can we get 200 proof? No, I like being alive, thanks. What voice do I give this man? He's kind of Larry Butts coded. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if this just were Larry, but with dyed hair. He kind of looks like Larry with the orange and everything. Ah, this is it. It's all over for me. They're gonna find me guilty. This is our client, one Mr. Solomon Soul Starbuck. His name is Starbuck. He's a very famous astronaut who happens to be an acquaintance of mine. You wouldn't know it right now, but he's usually a very upbeat and driven person. The scene of the crime this time happened to be the Cosmos Space Center. Back in high school, my best friend and I went there almost a little too much. Oh, thanks for the drink water. But that's where we met Mr. Starbuck. One singular Starbuck. We'd ask about space travel and he'd launch into story after story, with so much passion. Back in those days, the man was 100% my hero. Yo, Avery, it's been a while. Yeah, hope you're doing well. Are you sure you're okay with being my lawyer, Apollo? Of course I'm sure. I know you, Mr. Starbuck. I know you're not the type to commit murder. Thanks, but... I was supposed to be in space right about now. Ah! Ah! He's so depressed, it almost seems like an act. You were in a car crash? Oh my gosh. Well, I hope you're okay. Damn. You get some Larry vibes from him? It's not just me. He is kind of Larry-hooded. Larry with a space shuttle astronaut hair. The launch getting called off must have been a huge shock. I'll probably never get the chance to go into space again. Don't say that. Don't stop believing. Hold on to the feeling. Besides, you just have to go into space again. You just have to go into space again. Yeah, I don't think I could face Clay in the afterlife if I just rotted away in a cell.
Clay Turan, I can't believe he was murdered. I mean, he was such a promising astronaut under your command.
Yeah, he was a good guy. Always there to pick me up when I was down. No one loved life as much as him, that's for sure. He was always so full of energy, telling me, "You're fine, Mr. Starbuck." Oh, is this where Apollo got his "I'm Apollo Justice and I'm fine" from? Is this the dead friend? You're an injured from what you know, but you had a pretty bad headache ever since and just felt exhausted? I mean, you live in a country with good healthcare, right? You should definitely, like, go if you can. if you get the chance. Ha! Okay, onwards. How could something like this happen to a guy like him, huh? I've never seen Mr. Starbuck so down. Ah! Clay's gone and I'm going to prison. I wish I could burn up like a shooting star right now. Mr. Starbuck, you'll be fine. Ah, what's with the yelling? I'll get to the bottom of this today, you'll see. And in exchange, I want you to go back into space for you and Clay, promise? Does that mean you have lots of evidence to prove my innocence? Oh, about that. We didn't get to investigate the area as much as I'd have, like, thanks to the police. Traumatic brain injuries can be undiagnosed from jolt, so yeah, I would recommend. Yes. That's the word that I was looking for. I was like, CTE? Like, you know when people who play American football get their brains shaken around from, like, too much impact? And then your brain kind of turns into mush? I saw, like, a good graphic about it that was, like, a peach in a glass jar, just shaking around and around and around and around. Like, and then it eventually, like, I don't know, doesn't have much form anymore. A high learning balance. Vince's doctor's ready if things get worse to go again, but I couldn't find anything. Well, still, take care of yourself. He's a goner. Hugh O'Connor. Everyone thinks I did it. Thought I was gonna soar like a comet, but I'm just gonna crash like a meteorite. No, don't say that, Mr. Starbuck. Don't count yourself out yet. I know it's hard to lose a teammate, but you've gotta keep going. And what about you, Apollo? What about me? I was just thinking, wasn't Clay your best friend? We need to focus on the trial right now. Are you all ready to go? Apollo! Trial's about to begin. If the defense would please proceed into the courtroom. Concussion is a movie. Yes, that one. That's the peach analogy that they made, right? Will Smith was in it. How did no one see it? I saw it when it came out, I think. When I was a kid. Came out in like 2012 or something? Oh, 2015. Okay, never mind. Not a kid. Less of a kid. It was a really good movie. It was like, why are all of these football players killing themselves? And it's because, oh, their brains are blasted from too much head trauma. Okay, here we go. This is it. This is one trial I can't afford to lose. For Clay's sake and our clients, I will find Clay's killer. December 16th, 9:55 a.m. District Court. Courtroom number 4. Hi, Riley. We'll get there. Oh, court is now in session for the trial of Solomon Starbuck. Oh, thanks for the drink water. Running into another human being at 20-ish miles per hour is harmful to the body. More at 11. True. The defense is ready, Your Honor. Why? Why? Oh, excuse me, Mr. Justice. Yes, Your Honor? What happened to your eye? I'm fine. The defense is ready, Your Honor. Okay. Does he look better with the bandage? A little older somehow? A little bit. I do think it's an improvement. But I'm also, like, more partial to the emo types. So, like, hard to say if that's my bias going. Are you sure? I don't. I'm fine, Your Honor. The defense is ready. A pirate justice. Are you be in the new Yakuza game? Ain't no way.
Let's see. I'm sorry, Your Honor. He's been like this since yesterday. He keeps insisting it's just a sty.
I suppose it's something he doesn't want to discuss. Maybe he's entering a touchy age. He is 23, right? He's 23? Yeah, because his friend is also 23. That's so crazy. The touchy age of 23. Oh, very well. And the prosecution? Hi, Black Quill. The prosecution appears to be ready as well.
Silence.
Silence. Okay. Not yet. I'm not quite ready yet. Huh? Oh my god, we are like 3 seconds in and the chains are already broken. Black Quill is unhinged today. Ah! Oh, the box is here. Okay. So yes, this is before the bombing. And then presumably we're gonna wrap this up after the bombing. The prosecution is now ready.
Well, it didn't take him long this time.
What's up with Black Quill?
Now then, I shall give the opening statement.
Silence.
I'll do it. Okay, Black Quill wanted to be a lawyer today. Let's go.
Oh, you will? What an unexpected surprise.
This time I can't leave it to anyone else.
Oh, I see. Something is off with the two of you today.
Yeah, no kidding.
You both seem different somehow.
So are they both connected to the space station? Apollo through his friend? And then Black Quill presumably also somehow? I don't know. I can't tell.
You both seem different somehow, yes, okay. Very well, Prosecutor Black Quill, your opening statement, if you would.
It was just yesterday. The crime in question occurred at the Cosmos Space Center.
Oh, that famous federal research facility of all things related to astrology, right?
Astronomy, it's astronomy. Anyway, a rocket was set to launch from there. But at 9:28 a.m., before they could even move the rocket to the launch site, two explosive devices were detonated, and the launch was cancelled.
Oh my word, 2 bombs? How dreadful.
The defendant in today's trial is charged with both the bombing and with murder. One Mr. Solomon Starbuck. For whatever inane reason, he detonated a bomb on the rocket he himself would be in.
Solomon Starbuck, oh, I recognize that name. Isn't he that famous astronaut?
Correct, your baldness. Mr. Starbuck was the pilot of the Hat 1 rocket 7 years ago. As you may recall, despite some interstellar trouble, his mission was a success. Some say it was a miracle he returned alive. I suppose you could say he's a living legend.
Oh, I remember now. He's become something of an international celebrity, right? They even turned that incident into a movie and everything.
How do I get rid of the... show/hide text window. Okay. Mankind's hope for the future. I've got to make it back alive. The Hat One miracle. Come along on a captivating space odyssey that will take your breath away. Cool, good for him. Oh, we've got a real space pioneer in court today. Okay, we're just setting the scene. He was on a mission 7 years ago, and then now 7 years from the future, 7 years in the future, he's on a second mission. Our defendant, I mean, and then there's a bombing, and then this man also gets stabbed. Alright. But even heroes tumble from the lofty heights. Returning to the subject at hand.
Ah, yes, the victim was one Mr. Clay Turan, a subordinate of the defendant.
Indeed, a loyal disciple brutally stabbed to death by his mentor.
Oh, stabbed to death, you say? You mean his death wasn't a result of the bombing?
Correct. Despite his lofty dreams, the victim was seen as an interloper by the defendant. And so he was sent not into space, but to the universe which we mortals cannot see. Clay.
I think I've heard enough. The case seems pretty clear-cut at this point. However, there is one thing I'm curious about. That metal box next to the witness stand. What purpose does it serve exactly?
Since you asked so nicely, it's your coffin.
Ah! Have mercy on me!
I jest, it's evidence. Due to its immense size, we've little choice but to lay it where it rests now. We shall get to the contents of the box in due time.
Phew, I feel like I just lost 50 years off my life.
Does he even have 50 years left? Inner monologue, Athena, inner monologue! Enough jabbering. Oh my god. He was summoned like Pikachu with just a whistle! Bobby Fulbright's the name. In justice we trust!
Ah, Detective Fulbright. Very well then, please explain the details of the incident to the court if you would.
On it. First, take a look at this pamphlet from the Cosmos Space Center. In it, you'll find a diagram outlining the overall layout of the Space Center. Ah, here we are. For a more detailed look at what's on the left side of this building, take a look at this cross-section that we, the police, have created. See the launch pad and the main building?
Oh, the launch pad is this square building and the rounded structure is the main building, right?
You got it. The instance took place in in launch pad 1 and in the main building's lounge. I'll be using this diagram during my testimony. It'll make it easier to understand. New Amogus map. True. The orange that didn't die is sus. Details of the case. Just before the rocket was set to launch, 2 bombs went off. Boom! Boom! On the second floor of the Space Center's main building. On the second floor of the Space Center's main building, and 1 in Launch Pad 1. Thankfully, only the 2 astronauts were in Launch Pad 1 at the time. The 2 of them managed to make it back as far as the boarding lounge, but after the escape, 1 of the 2 was found stabbed to death.
A murder on top of a bombing. Detective, the victim was already dead by the time you arrived at the lounge, correct?
Yup. Thinking he'd sabotaged the bombing, the defendant killed him right there in the rocket. Just look at this tragic photo. Poor guy.
Oh my, is that a knife in the victim's chest?
Yes, Your Honor, it's the knife that cruelly ended this young man's dreams. We couldn't get any prints off it though, because the defendant was in his spacesuit. Utility knife added to the court record.
Oh, by the way, Detective Fulbright. Why are the victim's helmet and right glove absent in this photograph?
We had to remove them to identify him, Your Honor. I personally removed his glove during the investigation. We had to get his fingerprints to confirm his identity after all.
Yes, it would be very difficult to identify him without a face or fingerprints. Now there's just one more thing I'd like to inquire about. What is this round thing next to the victim in the photo?
Something so important to the victim, he took it with him as he escaped the launch pad. A capsule that apparently contains asteroid samples. While obviously valuable for research purposes, it has no relation to this case.
I see.
So, we know that the bomb in the main building was on the second floor. But where was the bomb that was in Launchpad 1 located? Huh! That one was on the rocket itself. It was situated around the central part of the rocket. Apparently, the area around the Launchpad's elevator was a sea of flames. I would like to submit this diagram report into the record. Bombing report added to the court record. Okay, nice. Map get. The trials just started and we're already in a bind. You get used to it. Besides, that's what cross-examination is for, right? To Pantera, thank you for the follow. What the two astronauts were doing during the bombing, that'll be the key. Cross-examination already? Okay. I'm pressing everything.
Hold it!
Hold it. How powerful were the explosions? Well, the one in the main building wasn't strong enough to bring the place down, but the room it went off in was burnt black. Thankfully, nobody was hurt. Due in large part, of course, to me stepping up to lead the evacuation. Wait, what were you doing there in the first place, Detective Fulbright? Ha ha ha! I'm Bobby Fulbright, hero of justice! I'll be there whenever and wherever people need my help. I'll go to the other side of the world, or even to the edge of the universe. I'm not sure he knows how far that actually is, but I guess I'll leave that one alone. Admirable decision, Justice Dono. Huh? What'd he decide? Anyway, could you describe what it was like at the Space Center at that time? The bomb cut the power to the central bank of elevators and the third floor lounge. It was pitch black in there, I tell you. However, the security cameras and whatnot were running on emergency backup. And how did the evacuation go? I immediately and heroically whisked people down to the Space Center's basement shelter.
Oh, the basement shelter.
Mitsu, hope you're doing well. We are in space. We are in space. Or we are not in space, we're in a space station. But close enough. Yes, there's an emergency shelter beneath the Space Center. An emergency emergency. I'm gonna cry. An emergency shelter, huh? Emergency. Oh, here it is. It's at the bottom of the diagram. Right here. It's a space control center. Yes. We are not in space. We are in like NASA on the ground. The space center is pretty impressive to have its own shelter. The power outage and evacuation seem unrelated to the murder at this point. I guess I'll leave that aside for now. So, there were 2 explosions in total, correct? Yup, that's right.
Hold it!
Hold it. Let me get this straight. Mr. Starbuck rigged a rocket he was going to board with explosives. Huh? What are you talking about? If the defendant really did plant the bomb on his own rocket, he'd get caught in the explosion as well. Oh, I hadn't thought about that. You're stupid. Fine. A simpleton for a simpleton. Fulbright, the motive. Understood. The defendant actually had astrophobia. What's that? A fear of space, naturally. Just the thought of space can cause the afflicted to freeze up. And so, in his terror, the defendant found a way to stop the launch at the last minute. That's absurd! Unfortunately for you, we have evidence. Take a look at these. Drugs! They're drugs! What are they? These anti-anxiety tablets were found among the defendant's possessions. Apparently he was taking them in secret to quell his fears. There were a multitude of problems with the rocket Mr. Starbuck rode 7 years ago. Rumor has it threatened to crash a number of times as well. That was, of course, very traumatic for Mr. Starbuck.
Objection!
But that doesn't mean he'd go so far as to blow up his own ship.
Silence!
The defendant couldn't bear to mar his good name now, could he? No, not after the media had branded him sole Starbucks space pioneer extraordinaire. Given these conditions, the defendant could hardly run away like some base mutt. What? So that's why you think he resorted to the bombing? Naturally, he constructed this act of sabotage in an attempt to blow up the space center, which would effectively abort the launch but spare his reputation. Not if you got caught, dumbass. Ugh. Now I'm sure you understand why we have to bring justice down to this down on this atrocious criminal.
Hold it!
Are you sure it was only the two of them? It was just before the spaceship was set to launch, so of course it was only those two. Well, there could have been somebody else inside that rocket. Copium, 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 copium.
Silence!
Silence. The notion of a third party in Launchpad 1 is utterly absurd. Just to enter the area from the lounge, one must pass through a door guarded by a fingerprint recognition device. And allow me to state up front, there are precious few with the clearance to do so.
Oh, a fingerprint recognition device. It sounds as futuristic and complex as a space center.
Dude, I feel like I should just watch the anime. Like, why am I reading this? There is no gameplay so far. Like, there's no contradiction. Early thoughts are that Spacepad 2 will matter somehow. Also, does Fulbright have a phobia for bombs and explosions? That's why he had nothing to do with the bomb in case throwing darts. I'm not sure that Fulbright will ever become a relevant character. But I do think that, like, there's gonna be some issue with the location. Because he said something about, like, how they were here, and then they ran all the way, like, through the corridor. And we saw in the opening, too, like, one of the orange astronaut men was carrying the other orange astronaut guy, like, on his shoulder, and, like, they seem to be walking, like, pretty, like, haggardly and slowly through something, so presumably that's through here. And then, like, the murder actually happened here. And like, maybe everyone evacuated, but no, there was actually someone who did not evacuate, and that's the true killer, and that's what I think the story's gonna be. But also, Ted Tone does some domestic terrorism, like, right after this trial happens. So, who knows what's gonna happen day 2, you know? Take a look at this photo. This is the door in the lounge with the fingerprint lock. Only personnel whose fingerprints are registered can pass through. Hola, Chuni. Hope you're doing well. ¿Qué tal?
Oh, I see. That is very different from what I had in mind. And is there a record of the number of people that passed through that door yesterday?
Oh, thank you for the drink water also. Ooh, 3 people. Oh, yes, there were only 3. The defendant, the victim, and the director of the Space Center, Yuri Cosmos. Okay, doesn't that just mean Yuri Cosmos did the murder? It was Yuri Cosmos. Then doesn't that mean it's possible that the director is the one who did it? Not a chance. He was in the main building when the bombs exploded at 9:28, doing his job directing the launch. Besides having an alibi, he has no motive for committing these senseless acts. He has a point. I guess the director can't be considered a suspect then. Okay, I'm not so sure about that one. The two of them managed to make it back as far as the boarding lounge. Okay, wait, where the fuck is the boarding lounge? E. Map. Yeah, that's this lounge. Okay, so the murder did take place here. And then they found Clay dead, right? Okay, so we'll put this. So, while it would appear that the pair barely escaped with their lives, in actuality, one of them had already been murdered inside the rocket. That's the angle the prosecution wants to push. Oh, I see. So, two people who were hobbling back from here were not, like... Wait, where did Clay die? What the fuck? No, discovered in the third floor boarding lounge in the main building. Yeah, he was found in the main building. Wait, what is this line of dialogue? I don't understand. One of them had already been murdered inside of the rocket? So, like, what's the graphic at the start trying to say? That, like, the other person was actually just carrying a corpse, but that's not possible? He died in the rocket and then carried to the lounge? I think that's false. I think that's wrong. You got it. In fact, that's what I've been trying to say this whole time. If the victim had been alive, he would have for sure tried to stop the bombing. Is there any chance Mr. Turan could have been killed before he boarded the rocket? Who were both alive and well at boarding time and embarked under their own power. Their hearts full of hopes and dreams of space. And then both of their hopes and dreams were dashed. If I may continue my explanation, after the evacuation order was given, the defendant made his escape carrying the victim to make it look like a rescue. Okay, so probably one of the other things that we have to clear up is who is carrying who. Because it's been established that Starbucks Man has anxiety, so it could very well be possible that Starbucks Man is the one who passed out. Because he was like big scared or whatever. And then Clay carried him back, and then someone killed Clay. I'm just saying words, but like, it's too murky right now, but I mean obviously Starbucks Man is innocent because otherwise why would we be defending him? Unless he pulls like a Matt on guard, but I have doubts. So, well, we'll see. But after the escape, one of the two was found stabbed to death, yes. That's it. Hold it. And who was the first to find the victim? Actually, there were two of them. The Space Center director, Yuri Cosmos, and Detective Candace Arm. That she's familiar? Is she the one who died in case 1 of this game? Candace Arm. Oh, yeah. Ted Tonate killed her with the bomb. Okay.
Oh, one of them was a detective.
Oh wait, so she's still alive right now? Because the courtroom still exists. Nice. Yup, Detective Arms specializes in bombings, you see. She and the director were ordering the evacuation following the explosions. They were also worried about the astronauts, so they hurried over to the boarding lounge. That's when they discovered the victim, along with the defendant. 2 witnesses, huh? And one of them is a detective. I doubt either one would have anything to say that would help me.
I think that pretty much covers the details of the case. Only the victim and defendant were on the launch pad when the former was killed. If this is the truth, then only Mr. Starbuck could have carried out this crime.
What little I could get out of him only hurt my case. Justice Dono, foolish is the warrior who rushes headlong into battle. Preparation is the central element of battle, so I advise you to take a gander at this. What is it? Footage from a security camera. As the two astronauts emerged from the bowels of the Launchpad 1 corridor. The boarding lounge security camera captured their desperate escape. No knife? No knife, I think. Now I would direct your attention to what the defendant is shouldering. What you can see is none other than the lifeless body of the victim. No knife? There's no knife here. Blackwell, what the fuck? What? Are you sure about that?
Order! Order, I say.
I thought in the first case that Apollo's eye patch was because of the bombing, but he already has that injury now. Did I miss how he got that, or is it still a mystery? It's still a mystery. He claims that he has like an eye infection or something like that, so that's why he covered it up. But he probably has some like psychological reason. I don't know. Maybe we're not gonna be able to like perceive this case or something because he's like real sad. So that's why he tied his eye up. That's like the only like possible like gameplay explanation that I have right now.
This lines up exactly with what the prosecution has been asserting.
I should have known Blackwell would have something like this, ready. Security camera video added to the court record. Apollo? How exactly did they determine that Clay was already gone in that footage? I see what you mean. Whether Clay was still alive at that point is pretty crucial. Your Honor, please take another look at the footage. Is it possible that Mr. Turan was still alive here and that Mr. Starbuck was helping him?
Oh, why? I believe you're right. One man carrying the other to safety. What a beautiful expression of friendship.
Silence!
Perhaps that's what it looks like to an one-eyed hothead and a dotard. But it only makes sense if it's the victim's dead body. What do you mean? Fulbright, explain it to Justice Dono. You got it. Ready, kid? If the murder had occurred in the lounge, someone could have spotted it. Anyone can enter the lounge after all. But doing it while they were alone in the spaceship, that's a horse of different color. Wait, that's stupid though, because they bombed the lounge so that no one would be in there. You're wrong. You're literally wrong. Like, not wrong, but like there's literally a hole in this logic, right?
Objection!
But you can't deny that there's a possibility the murder could have happened in the lounge. All that video shows is a man helping his fellow astronaut out.
Silence!
Apollo's poker skills are bad when sad. Yeah. Rough. Your assertion is based on emotion. It's based in your belief that Mr. Starbuck would surely help his own disciple, but you have no logical explanation as to why the victim could still be alive.
Unfortunately, Mr. Justice, the prosecution is right. Your argument is lacking in sound logic.
But it sounded perfectly logical to me. The idea that carrying a dead body to the lounge past a bunch of cameras is less risky than just killing him in the lounge seems suspect. I concur. I also think that if you're asserting that the murder and the bombing are done by the same person, then the person who placed the bomb would know that by having a bomb in the main building, everyone would evacuate, so there would be no one in the lounge, which would give him opportunity to do a murder in the lounge. So like, he probably wanted to kill one of these two, bomb here so that they come out, bomb here so that everyone goes down, and then murder, right? Like that's not difficult, right? I think like surely like the prosecution would know that, but they're just pushing it onto Starbuck. I don't know. Cause he sounds like a coffee chain.
If you've no further objections, I believe it's time to bring this cross-examination to a close.
Objections? Well, Hold it! Alright, Athena. Girl boss, gaslight, gatekeep. Your Honor, the defense requests a little time to think and regroup.
Given the facts, I'm not sure I see the need.
What is it, Athena?
It's just, there's something that's been bothering me.
If it isn't the defense stalling for time as always. Very well, I'm feeling generous. You may have a small measure of time.
Yes!
You have 5 seconds.
5 seconds?
After that, I declare this cross-examination to be closed and a verdict to be rendered. Your baldness, raise your gavel high. It's time for a countdown.
Oh!
Ready?
You raised this gavel! We don't have time. Spit it out, Athena. Only 3 more seconds. Look! I don't think the prosecution's explanation is very complete.
Meaning?
Meaning there's something missing. Like, they conveniently left it unexplained.
Something they didn't explain? Something they didn't explain. You're right. I think I know what you're talking about.
Your 5 seconds are up, Mr. Justice. Is there anything about the prosecution's argument that you'd like to rebut?
Yes, Your Honor. Actually, there is. There is something the prosecution has yet to make clear to this court.
Well, if you put it that way. What is it that the prosecution has failed to explain?
Why the body was moved? I guess? Why the body was moved. They have failed to explain why Mr. Starbuck would bother bringing the body back at all. If the defendant wanted to kill the victim, why didn't he just leave his body in the rocket? Why go through the trouble of bringing him all the way back to the boarding lounge? Why wouldn't he just kill him while they were in space?
Oh, that's true. I don't think we've heard the prosecution's thoughts on that yet.
That's because they have none, Your Honor. After all, how does one explain something so illogical? The prosecution is claiming that the defendant moved the victim's dead body. But what if the entire premise of that argument is wrong?
Then let's hear your theory, Mr. Justice.
The defense proposes that the defendant didn't kill the victim. He was helping him. In space, there would literally be no other suspects? No, but in space, it would be an accident. Something went wrong with his equipment, and then he died. Fuck. Like, seven years ago, like, my rocket was a little fucky-wucky, and it was very scary-wary. And I almost didn't make it back home, and then this time, my compatriot, my colleague, my comrade in arms, if you will, didn't make it back. Oops! It was an accident! Ahaha! Right? Like, I feel like that's easier than, like, whatever the fuck the prosecution trying to pull here. Or, like, the prosecution's claiming that Starbuck's plan was here. Fulbright, explain it to our sad friend here before I nod off to his monotone monologue. Imagine it's like Tintin, and someone actually snuck onto this spaceship. True, that would be really funny. Inform him exactly why Spaceboy moved the victim. Huh? They've got to be joking. It's simple. Mr. Starbuck did what he did to direct suspicion away from himself. He wanted to create the impression he heroically risked his life to save his partner. That's why he made sure to make it to the security camera so there'd be a record. At the very least, he appears to have achieved success with you and the old man. Oh, we don't have a photo of the dead body. I'm not convinced that this one is Starbuck and that one is Clay. At the very least, he appears to have achieved success with the old man. Right, okay. Ah. The average person wearing a spacesuit weighs easily over 200 pounds, saving the life of a partner who weighs as much, while trying to escape deadly flames. What a dramatic sob story fit for the silver screen.
Indeed, I was completely taken in by the humanity of the story.
You are such a fucking psychopath. You see? Yet the true ending is that all traces of his hammy acts were meant to be blown up. Yes, and now we arrive at the thrilling conclusion. The third explosion. The third explosion that's about to happen. In this courthouse. Soon.
Silence.
What are you talking about? There was no third explosion. Indeed, you are correct. But that is thanks to Detective Arm. It was she who identified and secured the bomb. However, it doesn't change the fact that the third bomb was discovered in the lounge. The steel coffin beside the witness stand. That would be a bomb transport case. We used that to transfer the deactivated bomb here. It was found in the lounge. A bomb in the form of a most distasteful toy. Ah. The scene is set.
What?
One on the second floor of the main building, one on the launch pad, and one in the lounge. The defendant planned to set off 3 firework displays. Fortunately, the third was discovered before it could be detonated, for if it had not... For had it not, oh my god, I can't read. For had it not, the victim's body and other vital evidence would surely have been immolated.
Objection!
Objection.
Gah! Before you utter a word, know that the evidence supports me. It's like he's reading my mind. As it is still undergoing forensic investigation, I do not have the evidence on hand. However, know that a peculiar item was found in one of Mr. Starbuck's pockets. Specifically, a bomb detonation switch. You found what? It's not looking good. AA is so bad. I suspect the defendant had no time to destroy such damning evidence. Trust me, guys. I totally have the evidence, just not right here. Real. When the Space Center director and Detective Arm stumbled across the murder, so he thought to hide it in his pocket. Feeble brain that he is. No, Mr. Starbuck would never do something like that. Ah! We are dead. Justice, Dono, open your eyes and see the truth.
This appears to be irrefutable evidence that the accused set off the explosions.
Could you imagine how even more OP Phoenix bluffing would be if people accepted that argument? Yeah, I gave it to the police for testing. It's not here. Yeah, let's cross-examine the parrot. No, there has to be some kind of mistake. This can't be the truth. Still can't accept it? You'll believe in your client, come what may? Then why don't you cross-examine the defendant himself? This has got to be a trap. It's like Black was controlling the entire game. Yeah, it seems like he was waiting for me to bring up the body moving issue. Why do you say that? Because he had just the right argument when I pointed it out. And to really rub it in, he had a decisive piece of evidence up his sleeve too. He was trying to shake my faith in Mr. Starbuck and break me down. Then making you cross-examine Mr. Starbuck at this point was a part of his plan too? Totally underhanded, but I wouldn't expect anything less from him. Now let us hear from the arch-villain, the fiendish murderer himself. Famed astronaut Solomon Starbuck. Witness your... Oh, this is the judge.
Witness your name and occupation, please.
Solomon Starbuck, astronaut. Ah! How did this happen?
Mr. Starbuck, you aren't looking very well. Will you be able to give testimony?
No.
Well, unfortunately, no is not an option. You are being accused of the Space Center bombing and the murder of Clay Turan. Please testify to all these allegations.
Mind if I take this suit off? It's getting really heavy.
Silence.
This game has 6 cases, yes. This is case 4 out of the 5 plus DLC. It is not the weight of the suit that you feel, but of your sins. Prepare to carry that weight for the rest of your life. Banish me to the moon. I don't care anymore.
Wow, that was super negative. Is he going to be alright up there?
He'll be fine. I think. Is this like in the first game where the tea tray is glued to the guy's hand? Why did he have to wear his suit here? Yeah, I can't believe they didn't let him take the suit off while he was like detained or whatever. That's tough. As long as he doesn't totally give up and say he did it, that is. He kind of reminds me of a character from Fire Force. Like the pink-haired dude from Fire Force, but like with a worse haircut. All I did was support Clay over my shoulder and get us out of the rocket. Like always, I took the elevator down to the middle level and headed to the corridor. Clay had passed out by the time we got the order to evacuate. His 3D model looks pretty good. Yeah, like compare this to like Ted Tonate. This is huge. He looks great. Or like even compare it to like Apollo, unfortunately. I didn't kill Clay, I was trying to save him. I thought the elevator was broken. I don't know why I think that. Like, certainly the center elevator was broken, right? The explosion sparked a fire on the second floor of the main building in the middle level of the launch pad near the elevator. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, there was a power outage. His face has shadows. True.
Huh, so you assert you didn't set off the bombs or murder the victim?
But I bet you think I'm lying, right?
I reserve all judgment until after I've heard your full testimony.
I'm sure you don't believe me. I bet you don't even believe I'm an astronaut. I don't think the judge doubts that.
Who'd wear a suit like that, except an astronaut? I will say, when I saw you in that movie, you appeared quite courageous, though I suppose reality never quite lives up to fantasy.
I guess I'm just a big disappointment. You sigh too long. Ha ha ha! I don't really care what happens anymore. Ha ha ha! Oh no, he's completely given up. That's him, right? What a depressing fellow. If you were to join me in the clink, I imagine that annoying sighing of yours would rub off on the other inmates. Like how it rubbed off on Prosecutor Blackquill a second ago? Huh? That was Blackquill's sighing? Mr. Starbuck's testimony contains a glaring contradiction. The question is, what does it mean? Even if Mr. Starbuck is my client, I can't be gun-shy now. It's time to find out the truth. Cross-examination. I didn't kill him. I took the elevator down to the middle level and headed for the corridor. You are wrong? Is it this? Is it... That looks like the elevator is fucked, right?
Objection!
Mr. Starbuck, I need your testimony to be as accurate as possible. Was I not being accurate? No, because it's impossible for you to have taken the elevator down to the middle level.
What makes you say that, Mr. Justice?
Please recall where the bomb went off in Launchpad 1. Also recall that after the explosion, the middle level elevator was engulfed in flames.
Oh, you're right, which means...
Exactly, the Launchpad's elevator would have been unusable. In other words... Mr. Starbuck, your statement is decidedly inconsistent with the facts. Oh. What's with the helmet? Mission command, do you read me? Come in, please.
Objection!
This is mission command. I order you to pay attention. Stop this nonsense and answer my questions, Mr. Starbuck. My helmet. My oxygen tank! You are on Earth. This is like when you kind of tap the receiver of a microphone and you're like, oh, not a microphone, of a landline or of your phone or something. You're like, oh, you're breaking up. I can't hear. Oh, bad connection, and then you hang up. You know, that's what this man's doing. Oxygen concentration of body temperature declining, requesting medical assistance. He's also choking himself, you know, which is a bit of a throw. How is he whiting out already? It's been 1 parentheses, 1 cross-examination. Apollo's like, fuck, it's Soch over. Mr. Starbuck, we're not in space right now. Please stop pretending you have lost consciousness and stand back up. Good judge. I apologize, Your Honor. I forgot I was still on Earth. I feel like we all just got a real glimpse of Solomon Starbuck the astronaut. Yeah, he seemed more like an astronaut now than when he was doing all that sighing. Mr. Starbuck, could you please explain the inconsistency in your statement about how you used the middle level elevator? I was nervous and I said the wrong thing. I'm sorry. I actually took a different route, I think. Okay. I think the way that he's acting confirms my theory that he was actually the unconscious one and that it was Clay who was carrying him. 'Cause like, bro does not know what the fuck went on during the time that the bombing happened, right? Like, look at this. I think I took a different route. Like, what? That's my guess. A different route. I hope you're able to deliver a straight story this time. I'll get it right this time, maybe. No, I mean, probably. Probably. It's understandable to be nervous, but let me remind you, accuracy is paramount in court. My escape route. Let's see. My escape route, what I said before was a mistake. I remember now. I took a different route. Maybe, probably. With the capsule and Clay in my arms, I made my way down from the upper level. What the fuck? How? How did he get down the ladder? Am I dumb? If you're carrying like a round object plus a human, like you can't go down the ladder, right? So you're saying you escaped without using the elevator? That's right. There's a ladder that spans the upper and middle levels. I used that ladder to get to the middle level. Luckily, the fire hadn't reached the ladder, so we could make our escape that way. And the capsule you mentioned. I suppose you mean the thing next to Mr. Turan here? Was the capsule that important that you'd risk your life to take it with you? It almost goes without saying, but yeah, that capsule contains asteroid samples. Therefore, it's invaluable as research material. With his spacesuit on, Clay weighed a ton, but securing the capsule is also important. I need you to answer to the best of your ability. Mr. Starbuck, please remember that your verdict is riding on your testimony. Maybe I am guilty after all. I wonder if you can see the stars in prison, but it's more comfortable than a spaceship. Damn. The first two statements are like, I don't know what the fuck's going on. I made my way down from the upper level. Like, I mean, Apollo, like, did it for me already, but I think that he's bad and wrong and that he couldn't get down the ladder.
Objection!
Like... Alright. Okay, so this is supposed to be obvious. Mr. Starbuck, why don't you just tell the truth? The truth? Let's see. The Earth is blue. No, that's not right. So, I guess the Earth isn't blue? Yeah, that's it. The truth, Mr. Starbuck!
The oxygen concentration is wrong in this area. Mr. Justice, the witness appears confused. Please help draw the truth from him.
Mr. Starbuck, under the circumstances at the time, you couldn't possibly have reached the boarding lounge via the upper level route. Huh? Not as long as this was along the escape route. The ladder?
Take that!
Take that! To get down from the upper level to the middle level, where the Launchpad 1 corridor is, you would have to go down the ladder. Isn't that right, Mr. Starbuck? Of course, that was the only way we could escape.
Objection!
But how would that work? At the time you were supporting Mr. Turan over your shoulder, were you not? And remember, he was in full space gear as well, putting him at over 200 pounds. Oh. Well, it's easy on the moon. Gravity is only 1/6 of what it is on Earth.
Objection!
But the Space Center is located on Earth. Short of being an octopus, climbing a ladder with an adult male in space gear in one arm, while carrying the capsule in your other, is impossible, wouldn't you say? Oh. Short of being an octopus. So, Mr. Starbuck, how exactly did you climb down that ladder with your arms full? Owned. Mr. Starbuck, come clean and tell us the truth now!
Engineer, where's that engineer? Oxygen leak detected due to faulty maintenance. Evacuate immediately. Oh,
he's gone. What the? He's flying the coop!
Help! I'm caught on the ceiling.
Help? Anyone?
Bailiff, prepare the cherry picker. We must launch our rescue mission at once.
Well, that's one way to take off while being questioned. I'd rather prove his innocence so he can go to space again someday, for real! I guess Starbuck is an octopus. Oh, he's down now. Nice.
Now then, Mr. Starbuck, do you think you can keep your feet planted on the ground?
Yes, I apologize for losing control. Are you ready to tell us the truth?
Not that. Anything but that.
What is going on? This isn't the Mr. Starbuck I know. It appears Spaceboy is prone to deception. Witness.
Yikes.
Yes? I thought your story odd, but perhaps the inconsistencies can be explained as the result of a medical side effect?
Prosecutor Blackwell, please!
Please don't talk about that. What are you talking about, Prosecutor Blackwell? Didn't I already state that Spaceboy is ironically terrified of going into space? That's why he took some precautions just before the launch. Where you see, traces of this anti-anxiety drug were found in his system. Doping! Oh, I sense things are about to nosedive. Hold it. You got it all wrong. I told him during the investigation too. I don't know anything about any drugs. I never took any medication, I swear. It was found in his system, but he doesn't remember taking it? How could that be? Someone must have sent it to me. Oh, I guess maybe that was why I don't remember, because of the side effects. Yeah, that's why I don't remember much about what really happened. What? Order the court! You can't get any useful testimony out of him if he doesn't remember anything. Well, this certainly explains why his testimony keeps changing. Oh, why didn't he just tell me he couldn't remember? I guess he didn't want anyone to find out he was terrified about going into space. Well, that's awkward. Maybe I really did do it? Which brings us to the answer of our original question. Of how the witness climbed down the ladder with a dead body. It does? So, what is it? A dead man feels no pain and makes no complaints, Justice Dono. Just threw him down? So the body was simply dropped down from the top of the ladder.
Oh my, I see. And then the defendant could climb down with his free hand.
Drop the body down? Who would do such a disrespectable thing? Besides, dropping the body down would leave marks on the body itself. So you are capable of quick thinking. Yes, you are correct. Really? Oh, thanks. Ah! Huh? What's this? It's the oxygen tank from the victim's spacesuit. It's ruptured, and I'm sure you can figure out why. You can't be implying it ruptured when the defendant dropped the victim's body. I am for the fracture easily when struck.
Objection!
Even if that's true, the tank explosion and shrapnel would leave its mark on the body. Yet according to the autopsy report, only the knife wound was found on the victim's body. You're clearly grasping at straws with this line of reasoning.
Silence!
A spacesuit isn't heavy for the sake of being heavy, Justice Dono. It includes the latest technological devices and is made of the fabric of tomorrow. This fabric is made to protect astronauts from the dangers of space, so falling a few Earth yards would hardly leave a mark on the wound.
Objection!
Okay, that's cope, but sure. Then shouldn't it be impossible for someone to stab through it as well? It should, and yet through sheer coincidence. The knife slipped through a weak spot in the suit's structure and found its way to its- Okay, bro. What are the chances? You forget that our killer is an astronaut himself with knowledge of how the suits work. Ugh, you got me there. And now my argument has been proven. What's the case about? There is a space center, and then there was a domestic terrorist attack at the space center with bombs here and here. And then Apollo's childhood best friend Clay Turan got stabbed and died. And we're trying to prove that Clay Turan's coworker did not do it. And now my argument has been proven. Spaceboy killed the victim in the rocket and then dropped his body from the upper level. After climbing down, he shouldered the body and made sure the camera recorded him. There's no room for debate about this fact. It's clear that Solomon Starbuck is the only one who could have killed Clay Turan. Ah! Here, the report regarding the astronauts' auction tanks. Consider it my send-off gift. Feel free to use it as payment to cross the river Styx. Ah! The defendants had 80%. What? Why would it say 50 in the image then? Hey, this report's pretty detailed. Let's see. The display on the astronaut's left shoulder shows the oxygen remaining. I guess that means these glowing cyan digits represent the amount of oxygen left in the tank. Yeah, why would it go down? Or why would it go back up? Yeah, exactly. Okay, I was right. Clay is the one carrying him. He's the one who's, like, passed out. I'm done for. I'm going to prison instead of space. Space boy. Yes. Take heart. The bejeweled night sky is still beautiful even when viewed through bars. You mean the stars as seen from prison? That's right. Your cell will be your spaceship. Picture the view from the iron bars. It's like being an astronaut in your own craft for all time. That's not a half bad thought. Mr. Starbuck, Prosecutor Blackwell got him good. Spaceship, prison cell, fly me, my guilt, and my despair into the deepest, darkest space. Okay, like, what? This is filler. And then let's get sucked into a black hole together!
Objection!
Mr. Starbuck, you can't give up hope. Oh. Yes, Apollo. You know, Clay really looked up to you. He said you were an incredible man. He said you'd never give up on your dreams and passion for space, no matter the situation. You said that. So don't give up now and help me prove your innocence! For the sake of the man who respected you and believed in you. Clay Turan. For Clay. Huh. You're wasting your breath. Rah! Rah! Gah! So true. He looks like Rosie the Riveter. Vaguely. Like, in spirit. Apollo, thank you. I can see things clearly now. Mr. Starbuck. I'm fine now. Thanks for reminding me of my life's mission. Right, we'll both be fine. I'll prove you're innocent, you'll see. And after that, we'll get you back into space. Rah! You've ignited the booster rockets of my soul! I'm on fire. I am Solomon Starbuck Astronaut, a cosmic hero chosen by the universe itself. Okay. This is no time to be whimpering and crying. I can't let you and Clay down. Balderdash. The sun! The moon! All of space is calling for me. Solomon Soul Starbuck! Ready for launch? Begin the countdown. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lift off! What the fuck is this?
Well, I feel like I've witnessed an actual rocket launch.
Apollo, you did it! You broke Prosecutor Blackwell's grip over Mr. Starbuck. I can't take the credit. It was all Mr. Starbuck. He pulled himself through. If you simpletons are done massaging one another's egos, no matter how positive your mood, my advantage remains unshakable. I have but to wait for the final guilty verdict. Isn't that right, your baldness? Gah, I can't let up now. I have to stop Blackwell. I have to see this through. Mr. Starbuck just has to make it back into space. Damn. I won't allow Clay's dream to remain unfulfilled. I've got to destroy Blackwell's argument somehow. Think, Justice, think. If the only people at the Launchpad 1 were Clay and Mr. Starbuck, and if Clay was already dead by the time the footage was taken, then the only person who could have killed him is Mr. Starbuck. So the only way to counter Blackwell's argument is if I can prove that Clay was still alive when they arrived at the boarding lounge, in which case I should be able to find some contradiction in the evidence itself. Now let's see, about this data that we just received. This supposedly proves that Mr. Starbuck dropped Clay's body in Launchpad 1. But if I'm going to prove that false, then there's something there must be something I can use here. Enough of this farce, your baldness. Let's have your verdict. Prosecutor Blackwell, you seem to be in quite a hurry to rush the verdict. But about this auction tank data you just submitted. It says that Mr. Starbuck's tank had 80% remaining while Mr. Turan's had 0. Do you stand by the accuracy of this report? Of course. Then I guess it simply means that it's faulty as evidence goes. You will explain what you mean, Justice Dono. It's simple. This evidence contradicts the facts of this case. Take a look here at the detailed description and you'll see what I mean.
I hope you have some evidence, Mr. Justice, because I don't see what's so contradictory.
Yes, Your Honor, right away. This is the evidence that the auction tank report stands in contradiction to. The security video? Oh, it's just this image. Yeah. It's security video.
And how does this evidence present a contradiction?
The problem is this number is 50 when it should be 80, and why would it go up? Like, why would it go up? Why would he recharge his oxygen when there's like a fire and shit? Note the remaining oxygen in Mr. Starbuck's tank as he carries Mr. Turan.
It appears to say 50.
Yes, but according to the data, our client's tank had 80% remaining.
The oxygen in the tank increased?
I see Your Honor finds it as strange as I do. It's bad enough that there's a contradiction, but the increase in oxygen is beyond illogical. There's no accent on the A in Terran? Clay Terran? Terran? Oh, like, of the Earth, Terran. Gotcha.
Oh my, you're absolutely right. What is going on here?
Silence.
I too find it odd that the oxygen remaining has increased. It would be as odd as if my rations were to increase. But what does that prove? It doesn't change the fact that it is the defendant carrying the victim's corpse. I'm going to bet you don't get more rations. 'Cause you don't abide by the rules. Either way, the oxygen remaining shouldn't increase, just as your rations don't increase. Therefore, this new information is critical. We can't overlook it.
Silence.
In that case, do you have an answer to the riddle of the mysteriously increasing oxygen? You better not disappoint or I'll declare the inconsistency as mere equipment malfunction. Irk. Yeah, okay, it's a malfunction, blah blah blah. You can't. Yeah, yes. The trial ends if I can't do it. The thing to do at a time like this is to turn my thinking around. Mr. Starbuck has no memory of it, but he claims to have carried clay. So if the man with the 50 on this tank ought to be Mr. Starbuck. But if anything, the display on his oxygen should show 80, which means that it's a contradiction. Which means why did it increase? But why did it happen? Well, what had happened? Look, increased. Yes, we've been here already. Mistaken my base assumptions. Yes. Thank you, video game. I have also arrived at this place at this point, but like a couple of minutes ago. The victim was carrying the defendant. It was fucking Starbuck that was unconscious. All right. What if it was the other way around? The other way around? Would you care to explain, Mr. Justice? As you can see, Your Honor, both men had their helmets on in this footage. But it turns out this is where our base assumptions went astray. We assumed that it was Mr. Starbuck helping Mr. Turan, but it was the other way around. It wasn't Mr. Starbuck helping Mr. Turan at all. It was Mr. Terran, sorry. I keep saying it wrong. That's my bad. It was Mr. Terran who was helping Mr. Starbuck to the boarding lounge.
It was what? Order, Mr. Justice. You mean to tell me that the person on the right in this image is the victim, Clay Terran?
It's the only way to the riddle of the increasing oxygen level can be solved, Your Honor. At this point in time, the remaining oxygen in the victim's tank was at 50%. And when the victim was found in the boarding lounge, his tank was at 0%. And that's right! There's nothing contradictory about the oxygen level decreasing. That means Mr. Terran was alive as they made their escape to the lounge.
Silence.
Huh. How short your memory is. Have you forgotten what you yourself proposed? Even if the victim was alive at this point in time. Also makes a bit more sense that the thing he's carrying in the picture is in the picture of the victim too. Right, exactly. The capsule with the asteroid or whatever. How did he descend the ladder with his arms full?
Objection!
Prosecutor Blackwell, you can't hurt me with a broken blade. Ooh! Oh, owned! Excuse me? It's true that we don't know how they got down the ladder. I suppose that matter needs further investigating. But we have proven that Mr. Terran was alive when he reached the boarding lounge. This fact alone shatters your claims, and opens up the possibility that the victim could have been killed by a third party. Oh, owned. There were two people who claimed to be first on the scene, but can we truly trust their statements? Let's see. The two people were Detective Candace Arm and Yuri Cosmos, right? You think that one of them might have given a false statement to the police? Yes, it's certainly possible. We might have to do a little more digging. It seems we'll have to hear the testimony. Oh wait, this is the judge.
It seems we'll have to hear the testimony of these two people on the scene. Of these first two people on the scene.
Score!
Come to think of it, Detective Arm should be here in court right now. Bailiff, could you please show Detective Arm to the stand?
Hold it. It's bomb time! I have an announcement, everyone.
Well, what's the meaning of this? We're in the middle of a trial here.
Please remain calm and listen carefully. Someone has reactivated the bomb. It was me, Ted Tonate. The bomb was defused, but... It's about to explode!
Explode!
A bomb? Now? Ah! Everybody run!
Eh? I don't want to die!
Oh no! Everyone's panicking.
Silence.
Headless chickens with a death wish, the lot of you! Calm yourselves for all else. My voice cracked. Come on, Apollo, let's get out of here! But what about Mr. Starbuck's dream? And who will carry out Clay's final wish? I don't care what happens to me. I'm not letting some bomb blow the truth up forever. I refuse to let things end here. Apollo, this is no time to be dramatic. If we don't get out now, or if we don't get out of here now, we're gonna die. Come on, this way. Hey, ouch. Let me go. Apollo. Juniper? She hasn't evacuated yet? Eek. Juniper, are you alright? Apollo, no, not that way. It's so over. This seems weird. We just finished concluding a bunch of stuff. This would be a normal time for a recess. Why bother having a bomb go off now? I think in the first case it was established. I don't know, like head tonate like got confronted by Candace Arm or something like that. I don't quite remember. But like after this, I think like if you review the facts of case 1, like he had his own motive like completely separately from everything. Or like maybe he noticed that, oh, like the trial got to a point where Candace Arm was about to take the stand. And then he was like, fuck, she's gonna make me look bad. Or something like that. And then that's why he went and killed her and did the bombing and stuff? Maybe? Like it's cause she's dead. Like we don't get to talk to her, I think. But yeah. I know it hasn't been that long, but it is dinner time. So I'm gonna end it here, and then I will try to finish the rest of this trial the next time I play. It would make more sense narratively if that were clear in the writing. Oh yeah, 100%. Oh my god. The writing is like, the writing's insane. Like, insanely, like, weird to follow. There's too much character. There's an investigation and 2 trial parts left. That's like, what, 5 hours if we're lucky? We'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. I will improve my stamina. But yeah, unfortunately, it is dinner time, so I'm gonna call it here. Enjoy food. Yes, thank you all very much for watching, even though it was a short one. I appreciate it very much. Let me see who to raid. Wolfus? We can raid Wolfus. Goodbye. I will see you all next week. Have a good rest of weekend, you guys. Thanks for watching, even though it was a weird stream time. Bye bye!